Serious, people with bachelor degrees from top universities and are making less than $15 an hour. What is your story? I'm kind of unique in the job sense, but nonetheless make significantly under $15 an hour. Got my degree in computer science but chose to play professional baseball after college. I was drafted and sent out to play minor league ball where I make $1,100 a month. The poor life is real, but I wouldn't change a thing. Plain and simple, I'm a social worker. I work with adolescent males who are on probation and have substance abuse issues. I love what I do and I knew that I could either get a job making money but not be happy or get a job where I go to bed every day knowing I made a difference in a life that day. I can live with that. My story is that I got a psych degree because that's what I was interested in. Unfortunately, people don't want to hire people with psych degrees because, apparently, that's also the degree people who are too lazy to pass advanced math classes or are batshit crazy gravitate towards. My guidance counselor did not clue me into these facts. Luckily, I have no wife, no kids, and live in a poor part of the country, so I make enough. With a BA this is true. You have to go to graduate school if you want to work in psych. I never had a thread ask something that applies so directly to my current situation. In fact, I made an account just to respond. I got my degree in sociology from a top state school. However, my final choice and major was the result of several mishaps throughout undergrad. I started out as pre-med. Sophomore year I decided to chase my dreams of becoming a middle school math teacher and changed my major to math and my minor, required by the School of Education, to sociology. By my junior year they had actually dropped the sociology minor as an option in the School of Ed and I started to change my mind again. Maybe healthcare really was a field for me, so I decided to get a sociology major since I had already completed several classes and it would be easy to finish. Upon my graduation I decided I wanted to attend physician assistant school. However, they require certain science prereqs that I am still in the process of completing at a less expensive community college, as well as healthcare experience. So to answer the original question, I am currently working as a certified nursing assistant in a hospital making $10.60 HR. My current job doesn't even require a high school diploma and you can start at age 17. Sometimes it feels like a step backwards, but I just have to keep in mind my end goal. Maybe my story isn't that unique but I thought it was definitely fitting to this Ask Reddit. BA in Public Relations. 2 unpaid internships and a couple years of journalism under my belt, graduated a semester early. Ongoing 8-month search for full-time work. 3 months unemployed after my on-campus job ended following graduation. 67 applications. 4 interviews. 2 additional second interviews. About to start substitute teaching when school starts back up. College degrees don't mean what they used to anymore. Keep fighting the good fight, man. And best of luck subbing. I have a master's degree in early childhood education and I now work at a children's museum as the assistant programs coordinator. It is one of the most interesting and fulfilling jobs that I could have and a perfect fit. The only major downside is making about $11 an hour. You know things are bad when you would make more as a teacher. I graduated from one of the best universities in my state. Right after graduation, I immediately got a job at a healthcare software company as a project manager. I made $70K a year. Life was good, except I freaking hated that job. So, I left and went to a local tech school for a 2-year degree in animation and concept design. I'm now an intern, making $14 HR at a video game company. Goddammit, I absolutely love my job. I am excited that I get to go to work tomorrow. I'm not gonna get rich, I couldn't care less. No amount of money is worth hating what you do. Tell that to my stepdad who earns a 6-figure income, but hates his job so much he screams at his family if he does not jog enough miles to unwind after work. I decided 5 years ago that I was going to study business instead of art in college because I didn't want to be a struggling artist that works at Starbucks. A bachelor's in business, 2 internships, countless applications, cover letters, interviews, and a few breakdowns later and I'm currently a struggling artist that works at Starbucks. I'm happy to be working, but I die a little bit inside every time a customer belittles me for forgetting their whipped cream and I still have to thank them and smile. I wanted to be a doctor, specifically a neuropsychologist, which is a diagnostics specialist contracted by a practice hospital etc. for cases that go beyond a visible malformation in the brain. I did neuropsychology pre-med, meaning I took all the neurobiology cognitive psych courses required by my degree and also took many anatomy, physiology, biology, etc. courses. I was a top student, full scholarship for academics, 3.94 GPA, working with all sorts of different professors on research and projects, and in love with my education and determined to excel. 2 weeks before my last finals, my body crashes. I cannot use the bathroom without violent sobs. I could barely walk, and I lose 10 pounds in a few days. I had to be flown home for a surgical consultation, as I have endometriosis and the doctor by my school was effing it up treatment wise. Get home, get diagnosed with IBD as well, Crohn's, and have to do 6 weeks steroids, surgery, they find a tumor, hormone chemo, another surgery, another tumor, neurological problems, etc. Today I cannot work full time still because my body is in continuous horrific pain. My nerves are damaged from the endometriosis and due to other problems. I need a service dog. My medication and insurance is ridiculously expensive. If I could just get the medicine I need, I would be normal functioning productive. But I'm stuck in the cycle of American health. Hopefully, someday I will be able to overcome all this and go to grad school. Sitting in lectures won't hurt, I won't be in constant pain, and my service dog will manage what I can't. It's hard to have your entire identity built around being an academic intellectual, and to have it all ripped away from you because your body doesn't work. It's like a cruel joke. I'm sorry about what happened to you. It's terrible that it happened that way. I wish you the best with getting those meds and yourself back to a bit of normalcy, and perhaps even school. BA in Aviation Human Factors. The core of the curriculum were flight training courses. I fly for an airline and get paid crap. If you're a pilot, the pay sucks unless you've been with the company for a long time or got really lucky in some private venture. I was required to do a 320-hour internship before graduation, so I did mine the very last summer after going through the commencement ceremony. I would just get my diploma once the internship course was completed. I was in interior design and went to this design showroom and they were a really nice fun group of people to work with. I kind of fell in love with the place and asked if there was any way I could get a job there. My manager said I was terrific and would try, but the business really wasn't making money. The owner was rich and kept it afloat by using it as a tax break. They hired me on at part-time minimum wage and I accepted so I could work there. 5 months later the front desk lady quit, so they made me full-time $10 an hour with benefits. That was almost 2 years ago and I just got a promotion to orders manager at $13 an hour. Not a great wage, but I love the place and will stay here until he closes it. Graduated last May, summa cum laude, with a BS in aerospace engineering. Was unable to get a co-op or internship while at school. 100 plus applications, 3 interviews, 0 job offers. Currently working in a warehouse selling discarded and off-lease computers and IT equipment from large companies such as Boeing, Edward Jones, etc. On eBay. I make $11 per hour working part-time. Feels like salt in an open wound. Just your run-of-the-mill American high school teacher. Did 4 years at a major university, then completed a year-long internship for no pay, which gave me about 10 credits towards a master's degree. After taxes, I'll bring home around $12.50 an hour. I have a BS in molecular biology. 3 years after graduation, I was still making $13 HR. I live in Seattle, and all the pre-med kids from the UW create a situation where supply outweighs demand for BS in a hard science degrees. I've just finished my master's in something else, because you just can't make a career with a BS in a hard science here. Did a triple major in applied math, statistics, and computer science at what's considered a top 5 school in the US. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with that stuff, so I was taking a lot of grad classes on AI, machine learning, graphics, NLP, and some other very broad areas in my 4th year. I had done a summer of research, and a summer of working at a company, and knew I wanted to get a PhD. So I took the grey and got into a top PhD program as well. Unfortunately, some serious personal stuff took over and I had to start providing for my family immediately. I went to the job I had at a grocery in high school, and I currently make $12 an hour as an assistant manager, and less than minimum wage as a waiter at a local restaurant. It's been 2 years since then, my finances are reasonable, and the incredible people at the PhD program have actually held a spot for me. I go back in 2 weeks to academia after a 2-year hiatus. To be honest, you could get a degree from bumfuck university and still far outpace a student with an equivalent degree from Gold Star University with ease. Getting a degree from a top university gives you an advantage in finding an entry-level job, but once you're already within the industry, nobody cares where you got your degree. Your job performance, your interpersonal skills, and the connections you acquire are a far better metric of how well you'll succeed than which university you entered as an 18-year-old. As such, it's relatively easy to find low middle income earners from good universities. Looking from the outside in, as somebody who went to a top university, it's laughable how much effort and worry people pour into getting into the very best universities. To be fair, I think a lot of top schools provide resources that make it easier to get ahead. I'm an undergrad at a small liberal arts college and I spent the summer doing research at a prestigious top university. The regular undergrads had crazy opportunities just because PTU has a massive endowment. This is a serious issue in Ireland. There are thousands of people with business degrees working for €25k a year. Entry level bro. That and an oversupply of business graduates. Things I hear from my business employed friends. Oh, it's just crunch time for the next 3 months so we work 12-hour days, but it'll ease up then. Okay, I make less money than in my last job but I'm really excited. If I study and take these exams I won't earn any extra money but I might be slightly more competitive for the job I already have. I was at Costco with my buddy, who looks behind the food counter at the guy slinging hot dogs. He says, "OMG, that's my other buddy who just graduated from Berkeley, philosophy major. At one point that had been my dream. That's too bad. All my philosophy major friends went on to pretty impressive things. One got a PhD in philosophy from Princeton. He's now a philosophy prof at a university somewhere outside the US. Another is a programmer for Google, and another is a Catholic priest. He chose this life, so he partied hard before heading to seminary. Yeah, we went to Cal. Bachelor's with honors accolades and psychology humanities from a very good Midwestern university. Currently decorate cupcakes and pastries for $10.50 an hour. My free time is important to me and I'm fortunate enough to be married to a man who makes good money. I work part-time and do 95% of the housework. He works full-time. We both have more free time than a normal 2-income couple would have. That's the way I feel better about it. Truth is, I sometimes feel like my brain is rotting away at my job and that a lot of my creativity potential is wasted. I'm lucky enough to be able to listen to audiobooks while I work, to keep my mind busy. Then I go home and write novels. I wasn't willing to put more time and effort into postgraduate work when I was pretty sure I wanted to be an author and novelist for realsies. It's nobody's fault but mine. I just keep writing. Someday I'll sell something. Trophy husband. My wife is a successful executive and not particularly concerned with how I spend my time. She's a few years older than me. I work a few hours a week at a job that's relevant to my interests just to keep busy and clean up occasionally when she needs to bring me somewhere for appearances. I work out maybe 2-3 hours a day, pick up dry cleaning, etc. I sometimes think about getting serious about a career, but then I just take the R8 out for a spin and yeah, frick that. TLDR. Step 1. Don't be unattractive. After graduating with a BA in business admin, I just kinda felt lost in life because I didn't really like that major but was pushed into it by my grandparents. I felt like I owed them. Stuck in an office job thinking about what my next step is and worrying that I'm falling behind others. A quarter-life crisis, they call it. Mental health. I have a BA in art history with minors in Italian and literature. Graduated magna cum laude with a 3.8 in 3.5 years. Suffered from a nervous breakdown after graduation and having been suffering from major depression and anxiety since. I kept taking bullshit jobs that I could handle while I got better and got further and further away from any career goals. Met PhD from a top international school in medieval art history. I tried for 3 years to get an academic position and never even got an interview. Gave up on academia. 18 months of unemployment. I've gotten only 2 interviews for part-time jobs. Didn't get them. I've pretty much given up on having a job again. However, I just finished, still needs editing, my 3rd novel. I sell steampunk art teas and keep the house clean. I can't have children, so I'm just at home alone most of the time. I'm a waste of skin, but I wake up each morning with hope things will get better for me. Business administration degree with a focus in finance and accounting. I'm currently unemployed because of the I can't get a job because I lack work experience and I lack the work experience because I can't get a job loop. Got a degree in a field that doesn't have much work where I live. The plan was always to move to where the jobs are, but because I can't get a decent paying job, I can't afford it. Anything should be decent. I have to pay student loans, rent, food, bills, all while batting down fist-sized fleas in this stinkhole town. After saving up as a barista making about $10 in tips a day for 4 months, I'm moving out in 2 weeks to a bigger town. You can do it. Get a dumb hobby, save money, be nice to people. Bachelor's, Physics, Master's, Education of Physics. I always loved music, but I went to college for physics. I had always played in basement punk bands for fun, but I was never really pursuing it. Right when I graduated college, one of my bands kind of took off and did kind of well. From that point on, for 6 years now, I've been a professional musician. I have a job as a barista at a nice coffee shop and make $11 HR because I love coffee, and I love having somewhere to go and hang out with people. When I get home from work, I have tons of free time to work on music. I really value my free time, and I like working somewhere low stress. I majored in communication because my advisor said that people that don't know what they want to do usually major in business or communication. I thought business would be too hard, so I chose communication. Thing is, I'm an introvert. All the jobs I qualify for are jobs I don't want. So, I'm self-employed and work about 15 hours a week and make about 20 grand a year. I live very frugally, but I love my life. I thought business would be too hard. As someone who did business, I'm pretty sure there isn't much that is easier. BSc of Information Engineering here. I had a well-paid, secure job with excellent hours in what I would consider the prefect position for my qualification acquired at uni. Then I found out about freediving, quit my job and emigrated to become a full-time freediver, compete and have my own freediving school. I now make less net money comparatively. I work less, but more intensely, running a successful freediving school. I live in a great country, Thailand. Change people's lives, teaching them to do things their friends most commonly deem impossible. In the meantime, I also had a moment walking along a tropical beach during a phone call with Google, declining their invitation to an interview for a position with them. The guy on the phone understood when I explained the situation. Zero regrets. I got a bachelor's in religious studies because I wanted to make the world more knowledgeable, amiable, and generally less extremist. As it turns out, the only young people who can get paid positions with any sort of influence in religious or semi-religious organizations are extremists. So now I'm working as an unlicensed mechanic while pursuing a master's in an equally useless and self-indulgent field. But hey, I've saved my employer over $10,000 in labor costs over the past 6 months. So I've got that going for me, I guess. No one hiring in my field. Didn't make a great network because they said hard work pays off. But honestly, it's just knowing the right people and finding your foot in the door. Also, I'm a socially awkward penguin that just wanted to go to school, get a bachelor's degree and have a nice life. You need to work hard and network. The two combined are pretty powerful. Culinary school. It's not a get rich quick kind of game. Just because you have a degree doesn't mean you are worth more than the dishwasher who has already been there 2 years. I chose English because after my first year as a biology major with dreams of becoming a geneticist, I figured I didn't have much to live for. Once I graduated, I had no friends, money, or prospects for the future. I saw it coming though. I chose English so I could begin my book collection. I'm a barista with plenty of time for reading equals. Well, I start college in 2 weeks. This is bumming me the frick out. I got a bachelor's degree in English Lit from Arizona State University, which is the largest school in the country, so it's top in that regard at least. I got a TEFL certification while I was there, and immediately went to South Korea and started teaching ESL. I make about $26,000 a year, in Korean won, for 40 hours of work a week. I get 18 days of vacation plus public holidays. Even though I only earn around $12 an hour, I feel fabulously wealthy. I don't have to own a car, my apartment is paid for by work, and when I finish my contract in 10 days, I'm going to be getting several $1,000s in contract completion benefits. I found a flight to Vietnam for $200 and I'm headed there in September to travel and casually look for work. Apparently it's easy to work around 20 hours a week and still provide a comfortable standard of living. The only people I know back in the States who have comparable disposable income are engineers, programmers, and my parents and their friends with established careers. I'm going to get my teaching certificate online soon so I can start working in international schools. All the pay and working environment of US schools, but you can live and work almost anywhere in the world. I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. I have a BFA from one of the top art schools in the country. I graduated in the top 10 people of my class, had 3 reputable internships during school, and was published in noteworthy places prior to graduating. I work for an art gallery now, and the pay is crap. That's really all there is to it. Officially $10. But I also get quarterly bonuses that effectively make it more like $12.50 an hour. The gallery is successful but no one is paid well except for the owner, who's a millionaire. We all make well below industry standard, even though the gallery is one of the best in the country. Most cities have few to no noteworthy galleries. The one I work for is the best in the city, bar none. Everyone who works there knows that it's basically a resume bullet point, do your duty for 3-5 years. And put yourself in a position to get hired by a top paying employer. You could say that the job is about paying dues, putting in more labor for poor pay now to reap the benefits later. You could also say that we're getting paid less in money and more in networking opportunities. I've been in the job for about a year and a half now. If you were to rank the country's top 100 most important museum curators, I'd say I've probably already personally met about 85 of them. I get by. I don't live incredibly well, but I make ends meet. I'm also an artist in my own right, painting and printmaking, mostly, and I make a fair amount of money on it. I also write, and get paid for that. Art and writing combined. It's not enough that I could replace my full-time job, but enough scratch that I safely break over the $30K a year line. Without student loan debt and living in a city that isn't insanely expensive helps too. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.